hope and pray that everyone must have a wonderful journey, wandering in the 12 forest of Vrindavan, in the association of wonderful Brajvasis. Yesterday in the afternoon I was dwelling about the Radha Vallabh Prabhu, the Brahmachari at the 26th Second Avenue, when he visited Vrindavan. They select the day with Sachinanand Swami Maharaj that they will go out on a bicycle and chant whole day from 9 a.m. to 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. And then they select one day that they should just chant in a week. So that was really inspiring. And also then, Prabhuji, I was just dwelling on all this. Now I'm dwelling what we read, because if we don't dwell on it, we don't remember. So transforming the heart that we are reading, and I think that Radha Vallabh Prabhu has also mentioned that the transformation of the heart will happen when we do quantitatively and qualitatively transformation. And I was dwelling that on the quantitatively first, Prabhu mentions that we should make a schedule what time you are going to bed. That was the one thing that we should measure. Second thing is how many rounds total we are chanting in a day. Third one was how many rounds that you have chanted without any interruptions. And the last one is that how many rounds that you think and that you chanted with the prayerful mood, constantly feeling separation from Krishna. So those things we can do. And wonderful realizations, I really dwell on it, that the quality to improve is, Prabhuji says, that we should always remember for whom we are chanting, to whom we are calling out by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, non-different than Radha and Krishna. And what we are asking by chanting, please engage in your service. And what service it begins in our devotional practice is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And the other point qualitatively is that we should chant with the feeling of desperation, that we are desperate, we are eager, we are we should have the intense greed to attain the love of Krishna, constantly praying in the mood that Radha and Krishna, please bestow your mercy, I'm so fallen. I can't take any more chance in this life. I'm suffering like anything, what can I say? Those thought process. So I thought to share with you. I know today is Saturday, so there will be a question answer session, but something was prominent when I was chanting. So it was nice that I shared. Also not to get the credit or to show I'm better than you all, but I realized that today I chanted 34 rounds and it's come out approximately 7 minutes and 7.75. So means 7.25 minutes per round. And as we practice, I have experienced that speed will automatically comes. But we have to remain, not to gain the speed. That's not our goal. If it naturally comes, then it's okay. Otherwise, we should always focus to chant his syllabus very nicely. And please correct me if I'm not chanting properly. You all have the rights to do, and that would be the great service to me. So those spiritual warriors who made our journey successful was Subhra Mataji and Manani Mataji. When I joined at 1:57 a.m., they will already join. So my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavis. Vrajeshwari Priya, शीतला प्रिया देवी दासी, सचिनंदन कृष्णा प्रभु, अमोल एंड स्मिता पंचपांडे, गिरिवरधारी प्रभु, राघव चैतन्य प्रभु, मनमथानंद प्रभु, सुंदरी राधा माता जी, प्रथमेश प्रभु, रवि पिपलिया प्रभु, जानकी कान प्रभु, लवंग लतिका माता जी, रोहिणी नंदन प्रभु, परमानंद हरि प्रभु, नंद नंदन प्रिया माता जी, नाडिया कुमार प्रभु, राग भक्ति देवीदासी, पांडुरंग देवदास प्रभु, दामोदर रति माता जी, कस्तूरी मंजरी माता जी, श्रीनिवास आचार्य प्रभु डिडंट जॉइन, सॉरी, श्रेया देवीदासी, हनुमान प्रभु, तप्ती घोष माता जी, Sumitra Radha Mataji didn't join today. I didn't see her name. She joined at 4:15, I know. Devendra Krishna Prabhu, Divyan Sen Saloni, Rohit Mishra Prabhu, Murli Manohar Prabhu also didn't join. Pranath Gopal Prabhu, Radhika Prem, Vraj Vinod Prabhu, Anand Vinodini Devidasi, Abhay Joshi Prabhu also didn't join. Haribol. Uttam Bhakta Prabhu, Vallabi Mataji, Rajendra Prabhu, Shrika and Pankaj Gupta, Vijay Keshav Prabhu, Krita Lakshan Prabhu, Matangi Gopi Devidasi, Madhvi Gopi Mataji, Namanand Prabhu, Prem Vinodini Mataji, Tulsi Priya Devidasi, Jai Govinda Prabhu, Kamal Priya Devidasi. I don't know, somehow I didn't see maybe Madhav Charan Prabhu and Ananya Bhakti Devidasi, they join or not. Please forgive me if I have not recognized you. Amalnam also didn't join. Karunamai Mataji, Barsana Rani Mataji, Sri Kumar. Shravan Mangala Prabhu joined very early before 3 o'clock. Thank you very much. Bhadra Bharti Mataji. Amal Atmana Prabhu also joined very early. Satarupa Mataji didn't join. Prem Tarangini Mataji also didn't join. Leela Manjari also didn't join. Gadadhar Chandra Prabhu joined. Radha Charan Prabhu, Shrugandha Raj Prabhu, Aradhana Devidasi, Manoj Kapoor Prabhu, Abhay Charan Prabhu, Shukriti Devidasi. Balram Prabhu texts me that he has to go to work early, so excused. Advait Prabhu, Kamini Priya Mataji, Sankarsan and Manjari, Rasakida Prabhu, Anand Radhika Devidasi, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Hari Katha Mataji, take little longer rest today, Hari Bol. Pitambar Priya, Radha Vallabh Prabhu also didn't join. Sumit Prabhu, Suchitra Devidasi, Amit Prabhu, Prem Priya Padma Mataji. I don't know Purvi Parmar Mataji joined or not today. Sharmista Sahi Mataji. I didn't see Mamta Mataji also today. Rasmi Mataji joined, but her friend didn't join. She knows who her friend is. Rajesh and Sweta, Nishan Sharma, Kanta Devidasi, Priyanka Mataji, Vinu Madhurya Prabhu, and Sundar Leela Devidasi. That's the first time Sundar Leela Mataji joined. Welcome to the Zoom call. Hope you enjoy your day, and we pray that you give your kind association on a regular basis. So let's hear the wonderful song before we will read from the Jaiva Dharma. Hare Krishna.
Nitai Gaura Chandra বিষয় ছাড়িয়া সে রসে মজিয়া বিষয় ছাড়িয়া সে রসে মজিয়া
মুখে বলা হরি হরি
মুখে বলো হরি হরি
আর মুখে বলা হরি হরি
মুখে বলো হরি হরি
দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুবনে নাই এমন দয়াল দাতা
দেখো রে ভাই জীবনে না এমন দয়াল দাতা
দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুবনে নাই এমন দয়াল দাতা
দেখো রে ভাই জীবনে নাই এমন দয়াল দাতা
পশু পাখি জুড়ে পাষাণ বিদারে
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 শুনি যারা গুণগাথা
শুনে যারা
আর শুনি যারা গুণগাথা
শুনে যারা গুণগাথা
সংসারে মজিয়া রহিলে পরিয়া সে পদে নহিল আশা।
সংসার মজিয়া রহিলে পড়িয়া সে পদে নহিল আশা
সংসারে মজিয়া রহিলে পরিয়া সে পদে নহিল আশা।
সংসারে মজিয়া রহিলে পড়িয়া সে পদে নহিল আশা
আপন করম গুঞ্জায় সমন
আপন করম ভুঞ্জায় সামন
আপন করম গুঞ্জায় সমন
আপন করম ভুঞ্জায় সামন
কহায়েল চনদাস
কহেলো চনদাস
আর কহায়েল চনদাস
কহেলো চনদাস
পরম করুণা বহুদয় জন নিতাই গৌরচন্দ্র
পরম করুণ বহুদয় জন নিতাই গৌরচন্দ্র
জয় গৌরানিতাই 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 জয় গৌরানিতাই
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 Thank you very much, Raghava Chaitanya Prabhu, for your kindness and support for this program. I'm really in debt to you for your service and also for the newcomer on Saturday. Normally, every day, Monday to Friday, we go from 2 a.m. to 6:55 a.m. We are very punctual on timing, and on Saturday we go up to 7:45, so we can have the half an hour question answer reflection corrections and some suggestions. Also, I apologize that it was really I didn't read it properly because of my vision. I apologize. Sundari Leela Devi Dasi, not Sundar Leela Devi Dasi, so please forgive me for that. So we will continue. We will read, we were at the half of the paragraph, but we will read from the beginning. So we will get up to the speed because couple of days was we lost. As long as the jiva remains pure, he can take pride in his inherent self-conceptions as an eternal servant of Sri Krishna. We should feel proud in that way, not otherwise. So Krishna give us the chance to use the pride. If he really wants to be proud, this is how we should be proud. Yeah, slowly and slowly, not to get the proud, but just to give you that, it is possible when you retire. I have reached, I'm trying to get more involved, but at least I can say truthfully that 10 to 11 hours I absorb in chanting, reading, writing, hearing the class, and singing the bhajan. This is so sublime. My day goes like, right away that day goes. And maybe Krishna and you all bless me that I can increase the number of hours. But it was so nice whenever I wake up in the morning, at night, it just thought comes that when the time comes, I would like to start chanting. And maybe I will get up early. If, however, through contact with Maya, this sense of spiritual egotism is contaminated and thus recedes, the egotism of the jiva then takes on many different false manifestations. Now, in contact with Maya, his original spiritual identity and function is shrouded by a stula sarira, gross body, and a linga sarira, subtle body. Through this contact with Maya, a new material egoism arises in the linga sarira, which then amalgamates with the stula sarira, thus generating a third variety of egoism. The jiva in his pure state possesses a primal identity, servant of Krishna. That's where we left. So we will continue. Nevertheless, in his fallen subtle body state, the jiva egoistically claims to be the enjoyer of the result of his actions. At this juncture, original pure ego of the jiva as the servant of Krishna is covered by the false ego of his subtle body. Then, when the jiva acquires a gross body, a further illusory egotism is assumed by identified with the bodily situation. And still I would like to repeat, please read Nectar of Instruction, Vacho Vegam Manasaha Krodha Vegam, and look for the paragraph in Anavruti explanation. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains bodily identification. As long as we will remain there, all these urges and demands of the body will never leave you alone. This is the first step for advancing in spiritual life, and just see where we are. That's all I can say. Then, when the jiva acquires a gross body, a further illusory egotism is assumed by identified with the bodily situation. I'm a brahmana, I'm a king, I'm a rich, I'm poor, I'm sick, I'm healthy, I'm suffering, I'm enjoying, I'm a wife, I'm a husband, and so on. These false identities distort the original consciousness of the jiva. Unalloyed Krishna Prem is the pure, true, and original dharma of the jiva. When perverted, this spiritual love manifests in the subtle body as the mundane emotions of happiness and sorrow, love and hate, and so on. In the gross body, the perversion intensified even more and displayed itself in the shape of material sense gratification and other activities for bodily preservations and enjoyment, such as eating, drinking, and sensuality. The Nitya Dharma of the Jiva finds expression only in his pure state of consciousness, and it by nature complete, pure, and eternal. In this world of duality, we get engrossed so much, rich, poor, happy, distressed, thin, fat, and we want to change looking at the other people, our situations, and we put so much energy that we forget that how much time we are giving for our devotional life. Very little. Just 16 round and maybe read something. I can speak myself because that's how I had lived my life. So it's easy. The temporary dharmas that assert themselves from the contaminated state of the jiva are Naimitika dharma, which we will explain in detail another day. Bhaktivinoda Thakur will never leave us alone until we get those points in our head. This book is so important. It will give us everything how. Because, I was just hankering and I was talking how to get the develop, to get our bhav and our identities. Somebody need to guide. And I don't have my spiritual master who can guide me. There are wonderful Vaishnavas in our moment, they can guide. But this book, even we don't have anybody, this book will give us everything what we need. The pure Vaishnava Dharma presented in the Srimad Bhagavatam is Nitya Dharma. All the religions of the world may be broadly grouped into three categories: Nitya Dharma, Naimitika Dharma, and Anitya Dharma. A religion that denies the existence of Ishwar, the supreme controller, refusing to discuss him, and that does not accept that the soul is eternal, is Anitya Dharma, false Dharma, contradictory to eternal Dharma. So never fall into the position of Anitya Dharma. We have to engage in Nitya Dharma. That's our duty. A religion that believes in the externality of both the Supreme Controller and the Jiva souls, but prescribes mundane, transient method such as karma, jnana, and yoga for attaining the grace of Ishwar is Naimitika Dharma. Religions which prescribe pure, unmotivated, eternal devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead the platform of prema are nitya dharma. So nitya, naimitiki, and anitya dharma, three dharmas. Nitya dharma may be given various names depending on country, race, language, and so on. Yet it is one in essence, excel all mundane preconditions and is supremely beneficial for the jiva. The best example of Nitya Dharma is Vaishnavism, which is widely practiced in India. The purest state of which is the spiritual teachings propagated to the entire world by our beloved Sri Satchidananda. Therefore, the pure devotees who steep themselves in rasa, the spiritual mellows of the transcendental love, embrace the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wholeheartedly, not something you like and something you don't like. When we read the book, I have that experience, when it's come to really, uh, you know, philosophical, it doesn't sink into my head because I'm not that intelligent person. I struggle. But as a service to Krishna, I read it. You know, this is how we should feel. At this juncture, Sannyasi Thakur said with folded hands, quote, "Dear Master, at every moment I'm relishing the incomparable excellence of the pure Vaishnavism that Sri Satchidananda has preached. I also perceive the deficiencies of the monistic philosophy propounded by Sri Shankaracharya. Yet I cannot refrain from asking you these questions, which keeps vexing me. Is Advaita Siddhi, the state of oneness attained by merging with the impersonal Supreme, any different from the Mahabha, the pinnacle of spiritual love that Sri Chaitanya embodied and exhibited? That's the question. Paramahansa Premadas Babaji prostrated himself respectfully upon hearing the name of Sri Shankaracharya. We should respect all living beings. What to speak of Shankaracharya? He said, quote, "My dear sir, always remember this. Sankaraha Sankaraha Saksat. Sri Shankaracharya is Lord Shiva himself. Sri Shankaracharya is the spiritual preceptor of all the Vaishnavas. And for this reason, Sri Chaitanya has acclaimed him as an Acharya, a great preceptor. Sri Shankaracharya is thus a perfect Vaishnava. He is the topmost Vaishnava." Quote, "At the time of his appearance, India urgently required a Guna avatar, an incarnation who preside over the material nature. Because the spread of the Vaidistic philosophy of Buddhism had caused India to practically give up the cultivation and studies of the Vedas, as well as the practice of Varnasrama Dharma. The Vedic social system, nihilistic, although hinting at the principle of the Jivatma, the eternal spirit soul, Buddhism remains in essence Anirya Dharma, that is Anitya Dharma. Sorry, my vision is so weak. Haribol. Anitya Dharma. In those days, the Brahmanas had all but forsaken the Vedic religion and converted to Buddhism. At this historic moment, the extraordinarily powerful Lord Shiva appeared as Sri Shankaracharya and reinstated the pristine glory of the Vedas by transforming nihilistic. I don't know, somebody can look into the dictionary. Nihilistic, Nihlistic. If someone can Google it, it would be nice. So I don't have to later remember. Nihilistic voidism into monistic Brahmanism. This was a specular achievement for which India will remain forever indebted to Sri Shankaracharya. Works in the world may be judged by two standards. Some works are tat-kalika, specific to a particular time, and the other are sarva-kalika, for all the time. Sri Shankaracharya's achievement, which resulted in the great good for the human society, belongs to the former category. He laid a firm foundation upon which Sri Ramanujacharya and Sri Madhavacharya later constructed the grand edifice of pure Vaishnava philosophy. Therefore, he is one of the greatest benefactors and historical torch bearers of the Vaishnava religion. I think somebody has posted the meaning of the nihilistic, but they didn't know. Okay, it says, my vision is so big. The letters are so small. Nihilistic, adjective, rejecting it, all religious and moral principles in the belief that life is in
Meaningless.
meaningless. Sorry. Somebody should read for me next time they post it because it strained my eyes so much. Okay. So we should appreciate Shankaracharya because from voidism to he bring the oneness. So anybody who help us in the ladder of our devotional practice, we should appreciate. So Shankaracharya also did a wonderful thing, otherwise voidism may have been existing. Therefore, he is one of the greatest benefactors and historic torchbearers of the Vaishnava religion. The spiritual guidelines Sri Shankaracharya laid down act as beacons to the Vaishnavas on the path of spiritual progress. For instance, Sambandha Gyan, knowledge of the eternal relationship between the Jiva, Prakriti and Bhagwan, is absolutely essential for the conditioned Jiva. The Vaishnavas and Sri Shankaracharya share the understanding that the Chit Vastu, spiritual existence, is supramundane and transcendental to the subtle and gross material bodies of the external material nature. They are also of the same opinion regarding the spiritual nature of the Jiva. They agree too that mukti, liberation, means giving up one's attachment to the material world. Up to the stage of mukti, the Vaishnavas concur with Sri Shankaracharya on many philosophical points. Sri Shankaracharya also taught that the soul purified his consciousness by worshipping the Supreme Lord, Sri Hari, after which he attains mukti. What Sri Shankaracharya remains silent about, however, are the wonderful realizations the jiva experiences after attaining mukti. Sri Shankaracharya was confident that once the jivas were set on the path of mukti, attainable by worshipping the Supreme Lord, Sri Hari, they would gradually develop a taste and an attachment for bhakti and then ultimately become pure devotees of the Lord. Hence, Sri Shankaracharya, after plainly indicating the proper way, did not delve further into the esoteric aspect of Vaishnava philosophy. Those who scrutinizingly study Sri Shankaracharya's commentaries can comprehend his underlying intentions. But those who ponder only the external and superficial aspect of his teaching are diverted from the Vaishnava path. From a certain viewpoint, Advaita Siddhi and an Mahabhav or Prem may seem identical. However, the narrow understanding of spiritual oneness in Advaita Siddhi is certainly different from the devotional ecstasy of Prem. A brief explanation should suffice to highlight their differences. First, we must properly analyze the subject of Prem. Prem can be simply defined as that tattva, principle, and rasa, spiritual mellow, which evokes spontaneous mutual attractions between spiritual entities. The sentiment that eternally draw all spiritual entity to Krishna is called Krishna Prem. In the union of Prem, it is imperative that the two spiritual entities retain separate individual identities. Sri Krishna is eternally situated in his unique position, and all the jivas retain their individual identities in an eternal mood of loving devotional service toward him. This is the absolute axiomatic principle in the philosophy of Prem. Inherent in Prem are three categories: the Aswadaka, the relisher, Aswadya, the object being relished, and Aswadan, the act of relishing. If the relisher and the relished were to merge into absolute oneness through the exchange of Prem, then Prem could not be Nitya Siddha, eternally self-perfected truth. If, however, Advaita Siddhi is defined as the pure state of the spiritual living entity in union with his natural, original spiritual nature, and thus untainted by any material contact, then Prema and Advaita Siddhi indicate the same region of transcendental existence. However, the contemporary scholars of the Shankaracharya school are not content with simply accepting Advaita Siddhi as a specific stage on the path of spiritual perfection. Rather, they stubbornly claim Advaita Siddhi to be itself the absolute ultimate goal of spiritual realization, wherein the living entities become indistinguishably one with Brahman. In this way, such contemporary Sankarite scholars misconstrue the actual Vedic truth. Their philosophical aberrations extrapolates the quality of eternity in Prem. Hence, the Vaishnava have concluded that such philosophy is non-Vedic. Sripad Shankaracharya described the concept of Advaita, non-dualism, as the pure transcendental state of the absolute truth. Unfortunately, his confused followers are unable to grasp the esoteric import of this philosophy. And in the process, the esoteric, I also was not knowing the meaning of it. And Ramapat Swami Maharaj was mentioning about when we were giving the class together about the Kevala Astakam. And somebody was asking the question to elaborate that, the Gayatri Mantra. And there are some books written on Gayatri Mantra. Even Sachinandan Swami Maharaj has wrote that book. So I said to Ramapat Swami Maharaj that Sachinandan Maharaj has wrote in detail about the Gayatri Mantra, and Maharaj says that's an esoteric book. So I was confused. What is that esoteric? That means that only few people can get the correct understanding by reading that book. Only some elevated personality. So those are esoteric book we should not grasp in the beginning, because we may go on the other path because we don't understand what they are trying to say, and we get misguided. So every word sometime I don't understand because of my poor language. I always do all to find out what does it mean, because unless you understand the meaning, I don't know why Ramapat Swami Maharaj says esoteric. And I want to know. And it was something that, we were giving the class with His Holiness Ramapat Swami Maharaj on the Sunday feast, and the time was divided half an hour. And Maharaj requested me that you go first. And I was so absorbed in the Kevalastakama, which is touching my heart. I didn't watch the clock, and I didn't know, and I left only 8 minutes for Ramapat Swami Maharaj to speak on that day. And Maharaj says, I don't want you to stop because you were so involved in your inner feeling about the holy name. So that was something. But we should try to understand, otherwise what is the use of keep on reading the book? We read the book to imply in our life. And if he wants to imply and apply in our life, we should understand what it is. Otherwise, what is the use? This book will give us so long time to understand. When we go on further, I don't know. We will be able to grasp, but we will do a service. We will read it through. The spiritual guidelines of Sri Shankaracharya laid down act as beacons to the Vaishnavas on their path of spiritual progress. For instance, somebody can know, we read that. Those who scrutinizingly study Sri Shankaracharya's commentaries can comprehend his underlying intentions, but those who ponder only the external and superficial aspect of his teaching are diverted from the Vaishnava path. From a certain viewpoint, now let me read this paragraph. I think where we were on the word Bhagavan, okay. Turn to this term goes well. It's the same nature, they are great. Okay. When Sri Shankaracharya remains silent about, however, are the wonderful realizations the Jiva experiences after attaining mukti. Sri Shankaracharya was confident that once the Jivas were set on the path of mukti, attainable by worshipping the Supreme Lord, Sri Hari, they would gradually develop a taste and an attachment for bhakti, and thus ultimately become pure devotees of the Lord. Hence, Sri Shankaracharya, after plainly indicating the proper way, did not dwell further into the esoteric aspect of Vaishnava philosophy. So that's where we were. Those who scrutinizingly study Sri Shankaracharya's commentaries can comprehend his underlying intentions. But those who ponder only the external and superficial aspect of his teachings are diverted from the Vaishnava path. From a certain viewpoint, Advaita Siddhi and the Mahabhav of Prem may seem identical. However, the narrow understanding of spiritual oneness in Advaita Siddhi is certainly different from the devotional ecstasy of Prem. A brief explanation should suffice to highlight the differences. First, I think we read that, but it's always good to repeat. First, we must properly analyze the subject of Prem. I think we read that. Okay. Inherent in Prem are three categories. Aswadaka, the relisher, Aswadya, the object being relished, and the Aswadan, the act of relishing. If the relisher and the relish were to merge into the absolute oneness through the exchanges of Prem, then Prem could not be Nitya Siddha, eternally self-perfected truth. If, however, Advaita Siddhi is defined as the pure state of spiritual living entity in union with his natural original spiritual nature, and thus untainted by any material contact, then Prem and Advaita Siddhi indicate the same region of transcendental existence. I think that's where we were. However, the contemporary scholars of the Shankaracharya school are not content with simply accepting Advaita Siddhi as a specific stage on the path of spiritual perfection. Rather, they stubbornly claim Advaita Siddhi to be itself the absolute ultimate goal of spiritual realization. That's wrong. Wherein the living entities become indistinguishably one with the Brahman. In this way, such contemporary Sankarite scholars misconstrue the actual Vedic truth. Their philosophical aberration extirpates the quality of eternality in Prem. Hence, the Vaishnava have concluded that such philosophy is non-Vedic. We read that also, Haribol. Now I will have to keep pencil on my desk. Whenever I distort my vision, I should mark it down where I am. So, but it's always good to repeat, at least for me. Sripad Shankaracharya described the concept of Advaita, non-dualism, as the pure transcendental state of the absolute truth. Unfortunately, his confused followers are unable to grasp the esoteric import of this philosophy, and in the process, they are denigrating his good reputation by ascribing an incorrect interpretation to his statements. They describe the transcendental conditions of Prem as Maya, material illusion, and thus the doctrine they preach is known as Mayavad philosophy. It is most degraded. So I think in the course of these things, sorry, I took 2 more minutes of your time. Always on Saturday we should stop at 7:15, so please forgive me. And let's open up for the question answered, reflection, corrections, chastisement, anything that Krishna inspired you within. And as a normal practice, we will give you 20 seconds for the devotees to come forward. Please, here is your 20 seconds. Time is over. Hare Krishna. Nobody came forward. Haribol. Okay, so I will ask you questions. How many people has started their Japa reform writings? You know, there are 3 steps for transformation. First, 1 week, we should hear our chanting, or even you can take little longer time, or you can send your recording to your best friend or whoever you trust in spiritual life. Let them review, make some comment. At least more than a week, we should dwell where I need to improve in my chanting. What are the things that you feel yourself that needed to be improved? Make a note of it. Without note, I don't know, I don't remember anything. My Guru Maharaj, when I used to enter in his office and when he see no diary and pen in my pocket, he said, what kind of manager are you? Do you think you will remember everything what I say? Keep diary and pen. So write it down. This is the exercise that we discussed when we were reading those instructions. So how many people have started thinking, at least first accept. First thing we have to accept that I need the transformation. If you feel that you have already transformed, then what can I say? Good luck. But if you feel that you need some transformation, then dwell on it and look at your life, analyze your life, where your energy goes. Where your energy goes, that's what you are going to get. And we know for sure, at least I can speak for myself, we dwell on the material more than spiritual. So let me ask you, who has started at least, thinking about it to improve and transform your heart? Please come forward. I think basically in the principle, I think that you all agree. Unless you have already transformed that I'm not aware of it, please forgive me. Accept my humble obeisances at your desk of your lotus feet. If you have not started, it seems like that you have not started writing. My humble request from today. Today is the July 8th. I will give you at least 2 weeks. July 23rd, whenever the Saturday comes, I'm going to ask those questions. So please be prepared. Look deeply into your heart. What exactly you want to do in this life? Do you really want to attain the love of Krishna? Ask yourself. Unless and until you sincerely dwell on it, take some time. Get up from this busy schedule, take one day off. The world is not going to go nowhere. You can always, on sick leave, call sick one day and then dedicate that day that I'm going to really observe today to just find it out where I need to improve in my chanting. Because chanting is the essence of everything in spiritual life. If you don't improve the chanting, there is no hope to attain the Krishna Prem. So dwell on it whole day. See that what are your impediments, what the regularity I need to bring in my life. Am chanting at the same time every day? Did I chant ever since I have been a devotee? I'm stuck with the same 16 round. Ask yourself. Look at internal, external. Are you keeping everything clean? At least start with your japa bag. I was telling in Naperville that I always use the pure white color japa bag. So at least you see that it's dirty. And it will be, tell you that, hey, at least wash it, because you will feel ashamed to carry over dirty bags in your neck. But people do use different color bags, and sometimes not to criticize anyone, but hardly they wash. We have to wash at least, once a week minimum. If it's get dirty, you should wash twice a week, 3 times a week. Always use clean bag. At least when you want to start keeping your japa mala, sacred mala, don't keep it in the dirty bag. Keep it, give the mala a nice place to stay. Then start looking at your external activities. How much time are you? You will find it. Slowly and slowly, that's what I'm watching. Where I can use my time to engage in Krishna service. And sometime, because I wake up and like that, so I'm sitting, I just take a nap. And my wife says, "You are sleeping." I said, "What can I say? My body maybe needed the rest, but I don't go to sleep. I just stay up unless I really feel tired." So I have started measuring my time, how many hours of the day actually I'm absorbed connecting with Krishna with different ways. You can think of Krishna, and when you draw like this, Krishna will always in front of your life. They never leave aside, they never leave you. They are so kind to us. So I'm gonna give you, once you create your list that you are gonna work, don't take it up all this improvement at one time. Maximum, I think, in our stage, at least I can speak for myself, I'm most fallen than you all. Maybe you are qualified to take more than me, but I will take maximum 2 points. And as I will suggest only humbly who I am to, give you the advice. But my spiritual master used to tell me, 80% of your spiritual life depends on the time you go to bed. And for last 2 days, I'm so punctual. I went right at 8 o'clock or a few minutes before, because that's the determination. And I feel so, before that, between the sleep between 8 to 11 is so powerful. So now I am feeling so much good. Slowly and slowly, my wife will not correct that much that you are sleeping, hopefully, because I think that I'm getting plenty of rest. So one commitment everyone should do is fix your time and never deviate it for 90 days. Then it's become your life. You will feel, if you then miss one day, you will feel so bad. Why did I change my schedule? Why did I miss association of Krishna, which is the most important in our life? But this is just a simple suggestion. You can choose any 2 items that you want to improve and go after it. In material world, if you want to achieve something, we will go after it and we will achieve. Krishna has given us the strength. Actually, if we study our life, we are utilizing only 7% of our ability that Krishna has endowed with. We are not using 93% of our ability that Krishna has given. But when we made our consciousness pure, all those things will help us dramatically. Just get out from the stage of the Namaprad, unattentive chanting. That is the obstacle we are facing. And for that reason, it's so nice that there was some sound was coming. And devotees are so nice, they are so truthful. So the devotee wrote me text message, the Prabhuji, sorry, I felt that there was some static noise was coming from our phone. We have to be attentive to everything. And that's why I have posted those 4 rules before you dare to unmute your phone. We have to perfect it. We don't want to have other devotee hear the broken names. So that's our criteria. And we will tighten more and more strong because that's how we will improve. Otherwise, I was thinking when I was reading the Namamruta book, Prabhupada has written that book. And in that, Prabhupada was saying that even after 10 years, 15 years, when I see the devotee does the same thing, what they used to do 10 years before, then I just think how they are going to make the advancement. I think that's a very good point of Prabhupada. We should really dwell on it. Did we change anything substantially in our life? If we have not, be serious. So the process is you first write it down where you want to improve, and please take only 2 items, even though you are more qualified than me, but just stay with that. And then second thing is next 2 weeks, you don't start after you determine that I'm going to change this thing. Don't start it next day. What I want you to do is dwell for another 2 weeks. How you are going to tackle those points in your life. Prepare your mind. Contemplate what would be the obstacle that I will be facing, because my Guru Maharaj told me one thing which was really, really nice. When you want to have a war, you must know the strength of the opposite army. Then and then you will be prepared yourself to win that battle. If you never measure the ability of the opposite side, then you may take it very lightly. Oh, I'm so strong, my military force, like Duryodhan. He will think, oh, I'm going to win that war. Underestimate the opposite party strength. So what are the opposing elements will come to achieve this transformation? Dwell on it for 2 weeks, I'm telling you. Please write down that what are my devotional practices and what are the obstacles. You should know that if you are not waking up every day on a everyday single basis, you should know I really need to have put that cell phone 20 feet away in the room so you can't turn it off until you get up. At least you will walk 10 steps and Krishna will help you, hopefully. So those kind, contemplate constantly for 15 days. Don't do nothing. Don't try to change yourself. Just contemplate, contemplate, contemplate. What is your goal? Why you have selected that goal? Is it necessary to take that goal? Do you really mean to clear those paths from your life? Ask yourself genuinely, ask your heart. You really want to go after these things? Convince yourself 100% with full faith. And then after 2 weeks, you start practicing. And then the practice should be so rigid that no matter what, You never deviated. Like, I have to give today. One of the devotee invited me from the Bhakti Bruksha, and he lives so far. I can't deny it because of our loving relationship, but I was little tough with him. I say, either you change your program early, as like a 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, or you hold that Zoom call at 6:30 to 7:30. But I don't want to give up going to the bed late. And somehow or other we have made some compromise. 6:30 to 7:40. I said 10 minutes. I will leave for the grace period because I know sometime member, as they have invited many new people, they may not come on time, so I should be allowing some time as a grace period. But that's about it. You have to remain vigilant. Otherwise, little slackness will open up the door for Maya to enter in your practice. And they will take it over very soon. Remember that example I give when the mouse wants to eat your feet. I have seen in India, my mother used to tell me, and I think we have seen some people that they get bite in the leg by the mouse at night. They they throw some kind of a cool air or whatever they do. Mouse has that technology that they numb that place, so you won't notice that the mouse is eating your leg. When you only get up in the morning and see what happened, Maya Devi is so expert to get in our life. And that's why I always keep on measuring because I'm so fallen. I always see, is my quality is increasing? Is my quantity is increasing? My devotion goes more toward Krishna. My material activity is diminishing. Those things constantly I think about it, where I want to go and what it will take because I'm running very close. Who knows? You know, it says like once we have take the inhale, we have no guarantee that we will be even able to exhale our breathing. That's the life we are living. So I just give the summary and the homework for all of you because I want to see everyone go back to Godhead in this life. And it is possible. If we remain steady and steadfast, work is necessarily. It's not that we should give up our work, but always trying to find something that can enhance your work situation also. Don't stuck with it that, okay, this is the only job in my life that I have to do. There is so much opportunities there in this world. You can find some consultations that you have the time that you can select. Like, I was really impressed with Rajeshwari Priya Mataji from Atlanta. She has just joined. And I was asking, how did you find out about this Zoom call? And she says that she lives in Atlanta. And one of the devotees was giving the Bhagavatam class where he mentions that Prabhu from Houston is holding this Japa Zoom call. You should join. So she then, Nadia Kumar was working with her about the diet system because she had the breast cancer in 2017. It was completely cured. It's reoccurred again in 2019. So she was really feeling that I need to change. And I think being a physician, medical practitioner, she changed the job that can allow us because I was asking, she joined at 3 o'clock every day. And sometime little early, her time before 4 o'clock. I think she is joining about 3:37 her time, 2:37 our time, Central Time. But that shows that she sincerely wants to get out. Unless and until we face the difficulty in our life, every day will go like normal. And when the life will go, we have no idea. It will come to the end. and we will feel, what a shame. I had that opportunity, everything. I have the Guru, I have the Prabhupada movement, I have the association of a devotee. Everything was there. Why did I go for something that I don't need, or I'm gonna lose it? Everything will be gone from our life except devotional practice. So this is really needed. Yes, Vijay Keshav Prabhu has came forward that he would like to share one more thing. Thank you very much, Vijay Keshav Prabhu. He is also going through so much painful medical conditions. Only Prabhuji can take it. He is so strong. Here you go, Vijay Prabhu. It's your platform.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam, all glories Srila
Dhanvata.
Prabhupada,
Haribo.
all glories to all Danvat Pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas.
Haribo.
Prabhuji, just want to share one incident in the material world, how it is, struggle for existence.
Yes.
After my short-term disability, I have to go back to work. I'm reporting back to work, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
It's, so, my surgery happened in the first week of January, after Jan 1st, the very first day. The doctor came and told me the surgery will be tomorrow. Just he gave me 24-hour notice.
Hmm.
And he gave even, family, they went to India thinking that it will take some time for me to get the new heart and all.
Hmm.
My brother was in Washington, D.C., and because of the weather, he couldn't fly to
Hmm.
Houston.
Hmm.
So, and my manager, I was telling him I was having all these problems, my health problems in one-on-one meetings there.
Hmm.
And while when I was told by the doctor, tomorrow is the surgery, and I called him and told him I have to go for an emergency surgery. I am taking short-term disability again.
Hmm.
So last week he called me
Hmm.
and he said, you just dumped your laptop and you just went on short-term disability.
Hmm.
And he said next time you can't take any short-term disability because the company is paying you short-term disability.
Hmm.
Then one of my friend is there in Bank of America. He's also manager. He's a devotee.
Mm-hmm.
I told him this is what is going on.
Hmm.
Then he told, go to the human resource department and tell him they will straighten him up.
Hmm.
Then I thought, okay, we are better not to first complain to human resource.
Hmm.
Better to start with this guy, how he will respond.
Hmm.
So I told him, I called my approving short-term disability department will be there, Prabhu. So
Yes.
they told, as long as the doctor gives you the medical documentation,
Hmm.
you can go on short-term disability.
Right.
Then, because something, proof must be there, evidence must be there, right?
Yes.
Then I kept in writing. Last week on one-on-one meeting, he
Ah.
said I can't take short-term disability. I called the concerned department. They said this is the protocol.
Hmm.
How can you change the company corporate rules and all?
Hmm.
Then he got little bit shaken and he said, I didn't say that.
Hmm.
So then he came back and he said, okay, how can we help you? I told, just if you understand my health situation, that is enough. You need not help me anyway, okay?
Hmm.
Then, and he's telling, can you please tell and go? And tell, I can give you any notice. Health conditions are unpredictable.
Hmm.
Sometimes you have to go to emergency room and all.
Hmm.
I can't give you advance notice and all. If people will get heart attack suddenly, who will give you notice and all? I told him.
Yes.
Then he kept quiet.
Hmm.
Then now he's talking very friendly.
Hmm.
This is, yeah, Prabhu,
Yes. This material world is,
yeah.
yeah, will give all kind of experiences, you
No,
know.
Prabhu, the bank is making billions of dollars.
Yes.
And he's so much worried that as if he's paying from his pocket.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
I told him, how I live is, my principle is
Hmm.
live and let others live. Okay.
Yes.
do live and let others. I don't want to complain to HR about you, okay? Otherwise,
Right,
they will take some action on him because he's not following the company rules.
right, right,
And I told him I won't in the future also. I won't give you any notice. If I need anything, I will just go. I told him.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, Vijay Prabhu. You did a
Right.
good. Yes, this is
Yes.
how it should be. We should always give a chance to the person to rectify. You
Yeah.
know, Krishna is looking at us at all the time. How we deal with the other people, Krishna
Yeah.
will deal with us. If we cannot forgive other people, Krishna will never forgive. So at least you did a good part that you give him a chance to rectify. And wonderful. But we have to be remain vigilant in this material world. If you accept what they say, that's also not good. So that's good that you did inquire into this. And that's why it's all these experiences necessary. We should take advantage of everything to live simple life. But I think we simplified our life, then we
Yeah,
will.
Prabhuji. So the only reason I have to, sometimes I think, of course, all devotees, all of you prayed for me.
Yes,
Krishna heard your prayers, and he made
yes,
the impossible possible.
yes,
But but now, Prabhu, this whole life I have to be on immunosuppressants.
yes,
Every
yes,
day I have to take immunosuppressants, and my immunity will be down. So
yes.
sometimes I think, why Krishna gave me this second chance just for to work for my health insurance and protect this, maintain this body.
Wonderful realization, Vijay Prabhu. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So just to work for my health insurance and to protect my body. So I have to give more time for my body rather than for my soul. Spiritual practices.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah.
Wonderful
So
realization, Vijay Prabhu.
yeah, Prabhu. And to be honest with you, I don't want to tell that my chanting is 100% perfect and all. I'm struggling to chant Prabhu. So many things are going on.
Yes, yes. No,
Yeah.
that's I know that you remain steadfast. Otherwise, sometimes the difficulty come and people leave aside that sadhana. So it's so nice you are living a very exemplary life, and we are very grateful for that nice exemplary.
And also another incident. One of my coworker,
Yes.
Mataji only, female. She's a female. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
she's in mid 30s.
Uh-huh.
She actually she shares all the problems to me, her personal problems and all.
Right.
So she likes lines and all. It seems she always keeps a line screensaver.
Mm.
So I tried to tell her about something spirituality and all. So after she told her problems yesterday,
Ah.
I told her, you like lion, right? Why don't you please worship Narsingadev Bhagavan? He is in the form of a lion only.
Mm.
So I sent her that Narsinga's and Narsingadev
Yeah.
slokas and all. I sent and gave her the picture. So all your personal problems will go away. Please worship Lord Narsingadev.
Mm.
So yeah,
Very
Prabhu
good.
sir.
Yeah. Somehow or other, we have to connect them to the holy name.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
That's
Prabhu.
But don't make too much promise that you will get cured, because we don't know how Krishna will act with them, and we don't want to
Uh,
be untrue. So, just encourage that, try this
But
out.
yeah, but at least we should try to connect them, right, Prabhuji? Yeah.
Right, right, right. But we should not make the profit that your problem will be solved.
No, I told her
We should
you are
leave
in
some
you're
room.
in distress, right? So
Yes.
please,
Yes.
do a little bit come into
Yeah, just
spiritual.
tell them that follow this thing
Yeah,
and see that
yeah,
it make any difference in your life. So
yeah.
that
Yes.
they will see, and if they will take it up nicely, they will see some benefit, and then they will continue. But sometimes we give the promise or something, and they don't derive because they don't follow the properly. Still, they will blame you.
But it takes Prabhuji, whether devotee or non-devotee, we have to go through all these material disturbances, right? Prabhu?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
because we say, okay, of course, you'll become. Of course, we have the spiritual strength to go through any problems when we get.
yes,
They don't have that spiritual knowledge at right, Prabhuji. At least,
yes,
so they
yes,
are saying, why this is happening to me? Why this is happening to me like that?
yes, yes. Yeah. No, it's
Yeah. So
always good. Only thing I'm telling you that never give the promise. That's all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Sorry, everyone, that we take one more minute, but with those thoughts, always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless. Whoever you come across, give them a kind word that their life can also become successful and totally fearless. With those thoughts, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who, despite so many austerity, they select to join every morning from Houston, from India, from New Jersey, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, College Station, San Jose, Tempe, Phoenix, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Palatine, Naperville, and Philadelphia. And I don't know where from the Sundari Lila Mataji. Sundari Lila Mataji, which city are you from? Are you there? Sundari Lila Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, she is from Naperville, Prabhuji. This Gadadhar
Naperville, okay.
Chandradas.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, I'm from Naperville, Prabhuji. Yeah,
Hari
thanks
Bol.
for the
Thank you very
association.
much.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
for joining. I hope you enjoy the session and may Krishna give us the strength to continue. Thank you very much. So, if Krishna so desire, we will see you everyone on Monday. Sunday, we don't have the Zoom call. We encourage everyone to go and visit the local temple on Sunday and spend the morning there. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Namanan,
Krishna,
we will be
Prabhuji.
looking
Thank
forward
you.
to see you. Hare Hare Bol. Nindaki Jai Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you. Hari Bol.
Vishya Vachapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaisnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. It's wonderful. You know, the rain has come to Houston, so it's very good to read out very easily.
Start kora.
Huh? What did you say, Mate?